Welcome to Multiple Choice Question 1 of the 2006 Mathematical Methods Exam 2. In this video, we will be looking at the solution for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. And now before we get on to the question, I'd just like to point out that the use of a CAS calculator is not an efficient way to approach this question. For question 1, we have the graph with equation y equals x squared being translated 3 units down as well as 2 units to the right. The resulting graph has one of the following equations. So we can inspect these rules and work out directly what the equation of the image graph is going to be. So if we start with the translation of 3 units down, we actually need -3 at the end of the equation. So the +2 here, the +3 there, and the +3 there are no good for that. But at this stage, the -3 and the -3 at the end of options C and D would translate the graph 3 units down. The only difference here now is whether we want x subtract 2 in the brackets or x plus 2 in the brackets to account for the translation of 2 units to the right. So when we want to go 2 units to the right, or in the positive x direction, we actually need a x subtract 2 inside the brackets. So that actually means that C is the correct answer for question 1. Now, once you have the answer that you think is correct, you could always use a calculator to just double check it, but we've essentially got the answer here without using it, which is why it's not the most efficient method. So on the calculator, what you could now do is type in x squared, which is our first equation, which has been graphed in blue on the screen below, so that's just the parabola down here. And then our predicted answer, which is going to be x minus 2 all squared minus 3. So that one's in red on the graph shown. And we can see that the vertex, or the turning point of that parabola, used to be at 0, 0. And the new rule now has it at 2, -3, which is a translation of 2 units to the right and 3 units down. So we can be pretty confident that option C is correct. Now, if you weren't 100% sure how to get that rule just by inspecting what transformations have occurred and what needs to occur or what needs to appear in the new rule, you could have used mapping. So the mapping way would have been to take x and y, and then it would map to a new coordinate that would be x, and here we would use a +2 to translate it 2 units to the right. And then to go down 3 units, we'd have y, and it would be subtract 3. And what we can do is we can then say that x dash is equal to the x plus 2, and that y dash is going to equal y subtract 3. Then what we do is rearrange for the non-dash term. So we'd actually have x dash subtract 2 is equal to x by itself, and y dash plus 3 is equal to y by itself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to substitute these back into the original equation. So where we used to have y, because it's y equals x squared, we're now going to replace that with y dash plus 3. So we're going to have y dash plus 3, and that's going to equal x squared. But instead of having x, we're now going to replace it with x dash subtract 2. So this is the equivalent expression for x after the transformations occurred. So we're going to have x dash subtract 2 in there. And then rearranging this, we simply subtract 3 and we get y equals x minus 2 all squared subtract 3, which was option C, which we already found by just inspecting the rules. So that's how we could have used mapping to answer this problem as well. As you can see, if you can inspect the rules directly, it's a much faster way of doing that question. But for more difficult problems, the mapping method is a really reliable method to use. And then just quickly, we can see from the examiner's report that this question was done really well, with 92% of students getting the correct answer for question 1.